Have you ever felt a profound disconnect between the woman you are told to be and the sovereign force you know resides within you? Have you pursued the world's definition of success, the accolades, the approval, the perfect image, only to find the throne room of your own soul feeling empty and silent? This is not a journey about acquiring more from the outside world. It is about excavating the timeless, unshakable power that has been buried within you all along. A power that the brilliant psychologist Carl Jung dedicated his life to understanding. This exploration is for the woman who knows she is more than a reflection in someone else's eyes, for the woman who is ready to trade the fragile tiara of public opinion for the permanent, invisible crown of self-sovereignty. Here on Feminine Queen, we don't chase fleeting trends of empowerment. We delve into the ancient, archetypal truths that forge true inner strength and regal grace. The path Carl Jung mapped is not one of simple self-improvement, but of profound self-realization. A journey to reclaim your entire kingdom, both the light and the shadows. You are a feminine queen, and it is time to awaken the full spectrum of your power. Today we will uncover the 9 essential keys to unlocking this deep, resonant feminine power, blending the profound psychological insights of Carl Jung with the unshakable resilience of Stoic wisdom. This is about understanding the architecture of your own psyche so that you can become the undisputed ruler of your inner world. This is not about changing who you are, but about finally, fully, becoming who you have always been destined to be. Prepare to stop seeking permission and start issuing decrees from the throne of your own integrated soul. 1. The Sovereign's Quest. Unearthing your buried diadem. The modern world sells a version of authenticity that is often little more than a curated performance, a carefully selected set of quirks designed for public consumption. But the path of the feminine queen, as illuminated by Carl Jung's work, is infinitely more profound. He called this journey individuation, which is not about becoming different, but about becoming so completely yourself that you are indivisible, whole. Think of it as a royal archaeological dig into your own being. For generations, layers of societal expectation, cultural conditioning, and family blueprints have been packed on top of your true essence, burying the radiant diadem of your inherent sovereignty. The quest is to courageously dig through this sediment, not with angry rebellion against the world, but with the focused intent of a monarch retrieving her crown jewels. This process demands that you descend into the crypts of your own psyche, examining the beliefs you've inherited and the roles you've been playing. This is where a touch of Stoic clarity becomes your most valuable tool. The Stoics champion the idea of focusing only on what is within your control, and nothing is more within your control than your own mind and your response to these inherited blueprints. You cannot control the conditioning you received, but you hold absolute power over whether you continue to let it rule you. This isn't about defiance for its own sake. It's about the quiet, unshakable strength that comes from building your life upon the bedrock of your true self, not the shifting sands of others' expectations. The power you emanate will not be loud or aggressive. It will be the radiant, undeniable light of an essence finally freed from the tomb of who you were told to be. Yang, 2. Beyond the Masquerade, the Alchemy of Wholeness. A common misconception of power is that it is found in perfection, in presenting a flawless, pristine image to the world. A truly unforgettable queen, however, understands that her power lies not in purity, but in wholeness. Carl Jung's psychology reveals that the psyche is a vast kingdom, and to rule it effectively, you must govern all of its territories, not just the pristine, sunlit gardens. This means embracing not only your conscious, curated self, the persona you present at the masquerade ball of society, but also the wild, untamed shadowlands of your unconscious. This is a sacred alchemy. It's the process of taking the lead of your perceived flaws, your secret fears, and your repressed desires, and transmuting them into the gold of integrated strength. This isn't about letting your darkest impulses run wild. It is about reintegration. It is about acknowledging the fierce protector within you, the untamed wildness, the raw vulnerability, and understanding that these are not weaknesses to be hidden, but essential facets of your power. From a Stoic perspective, this is the ultimate practice of amor fati, a love of one's fate, which includes loving every single part of yourself. The Stoics taught that we should not just tolerate our circumstances and our nature, but embrace them as necessary components of our journey. When you apply this to your inner world, you stop fighting a civil war against yourself. You stop exiling the parts of you that have been deemed unladylike or too much. Instead, you invite them to the royal court, listen to their wisdom, and integrate their strength. Your presence becomes magnetic and powerful, not because you are perfect, but because you are profoundly and unshakably whole. 3. The poison chalice of external validation. The single greatest trap for any potential sovereign is the quest for worthiness in the eyes of others. It is a poison chalice, offered with a smile by society, promising the sweet nectar of approval, but delivering only a chronic, unquenchable thirst for more. Carl Jung was adamant that true psychological transformation is an inward pilgrimage. It is a journey away from the loud, fickle court of public opinion and into the deep, quiet sanctum of your own soul. The feminine queen understands that basing her self-worth on external factors, the applause of the crowd, the number of likes, the fleeting admiration of a lover, is to build her castle on an active fault line. She consciously turns her gaze inward, learning to decipher the rich symbolic language of her own dreams, intuitions, and feelings. This is where the core Stoic principle of indifference to externals becomes your shield and your scepter. The ancient Stoics knew that peace and strength could never be secured from things outside of our control, and the opinions of others are the most uncontrollable variable of all. They are not good or bad, they are simply indifferent. By adopting this mindset, you are not becoming cold or uncaring. You are simply refusing to hand over the keys to your emotional kingdom to anyone else. Your fulfillment ceases to be dependent on the cheers of the crowd, and instead blooms from the deep, resonant hum of self-recognition in your own heart. You are a feminine queen, and your validation is the crown you learn to place upon your own head every single morning. 4th, dissolving the diminishment spell. For centuries, a powerful spell has been woven into the collective unconscious, a spell of diminishment specifically targeting feminine power. It whispers that you should soften your voice, shrink your ambitions, and dim your light to make others comfortable. It suggests that your power is acceptable only when it is gentle, nurturing, and in service to others. Carl Jung's work exposes this for what it is: the insidious operation of the collective shadow, a societal fear of the full, untamed feminine essence. To break this spell, you must wield the sword of self-knowledge. The journey of individuation is a process of gaining crystalline clarity about the sheer vastness and potency of your own inner world. It is about understanding that your intuition, your creativity, your emotional depth, and your fierce capacity for love are not soft skills. They are superpowers. The Stoic virtue of wisdom, or correct judgment, is the antidote to this spell. The Stoics believe that most of our suffering comes not from events themselves, but from our judgments about them. The judgment that you are too much or not enough is a false impression, a ghost story told by the culture. True regal strength is born when you replace these inherited judgments with your own reason. You see the spell for what it is, an illusion, and it dissolves. Your voice is no longer a fearful whisper of compliance, but a resonant command issued from a center of unassailable self-knowing. You were not forged in the crucible of life to be a pale reflection in a dimly lit room. You are, and always have been, the source of the light. 5. The Anima, your inner throne room's architect. Deep within the palace of every human psyche, Carl Jung identified a powerful archetypal force. In men, it is the anima, the inner feminine. In you, my queen, we can think of it as the very blueprint of your deepest, most sacred feminine essence. Integrating and understanding this force is non-negotiable for true sovereignty. This is not about conforming to external stereotypes of what feminine means. It is the exact opposite. It is about harmonizing with the potent, authentic energies that reside within you. The razor-sharp intuition that cuts through deceit. The profound receptivity that allows you to absorb wisdom from the world. The boundless creative flow that can build new worlds. And the fierce, unwavering compassion that is the mark of a true leader. When this inner architect is ignored or repressed in favor of a more masculine, logic-driven approach dictated by the world, a woman feels disconnected and out of balance. But when you honor her, listen to her, and allow her to guide your actions, your very energy shifts. This aligns beautifully with the Stoic mandate to live in accordance with nature, not just external nature, but your own truest innermost nature. To be a feminine queen is to embody the full, dynamic, and potent spectrum of your authentic feminine core. Your presence becomes a magnetic force, commanding attention and respect. Not because you are performing femininity, but because you are radiating its deep, unshakable, and integrated frequency. 6. Confronting the shadow court, claiming your banished power. In the deepest, most fortified dungeons of your psyche, there exists what Carl Jung called the shadow. I call it your shadow court. All the aspects of yourself that you have judged as unworthy, unacceptable, or unqueenly, and have subsequently banished into darkness. This is where you have locked away your raw ambition, your righteous anger, your primal desires, and your perceived flaws. Carl Jung's most crucial warning was that repression is not a solution, it is a catalyst. When you try to ignore these exiled parts, you don't destroy them, you empower them. They become saboteurs, working from the darkness to undermine your confidence, poison your relationships, and sabotage your reign. The path of the feminine queen is not to fear this dungeon, but to descend into it with the torch of consciousness held high. This act requires immense courage, a core virtue of Stoicism. The Stoics taught that courage is not the absence of fear, but acting virtuously in its presence. Your quest is to confront your shadow court, not to do battle with it, but to listen to its grievances. What you will discover is that your rage is often the guardian of your boundaries. Your ambition is the engine of your purpose, and your desires are a compass pointing toward what truly nourishes your soul. By integrating them, you are not becoming monstrous. You are reclaiming stolen power. This is the forge of true authenticity, where you melt down the chains of self-judgment and recast them into a scepter of unbreakable inner strength. All right, my queens, let's pause for just a moment right here. The powerful, focused energy that you bring to this community, your insightful comments, your courageous shares, and your unwavering support is the very heart and soul of the Feminine Queen channel. We wouldn't be here building this kingdom of wisdom without you. If this journey into your own sovereignty is resonating deep within you, please keep that incredible momentum flowing. Take a moment to subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell so you never miss a key to your kingdom, and share this message with another queen who is ready to claim her crown. Your support means more than you know, and I will be eternally grateful for it. Now, let's get back to the final, most potent keys to unlocking your timeless power. 7. The Scepter of Intuition, your unassailable sovereignty. You live in a world that overwhelmingly worships at the altar of cold, hard data and purely rational logic. In such a realm, your deep intuitive knowing is often dismissed as irrational, emotional, or unreliable. Yet, Carl Jung revered intuition as one of the most vital psychic functions, a direct line to the profound wisdom of the unconscious. He saw it as the soul's native language. To the feminine queen, this intuition is not a whimsical feeling. It is your divine scepter of sovereignty. Society may urge you to relinquish this sacred tool in favor of spreadsheets and external advice, but your work is to hone it to the sharpness of a royal blade. This means learning its subtle dialects, the sudden clenching in your gut, the inexplicable feeling of rightness about a decision, the energetic shift in a room that you feel in your very bones. The Stoic philosophers, while champions of reason, also spoke of an inner guiding spirit or demon. This can be seen as a form of deep, reasoned intuition, a wisdom that runs deeper than conscious thought. Trusting this scepter makes you impossible to deceive, manipulate, or lead astray. You begin to perceive the underlying truth of a situation long before your logical mind can assemble all the evidence. You navigate the labyrinth of life not with a map drawn by others, but with an unfailing inner compass that was forged in the stars of your own unconscious mind. This is not mere emotion. It is gnosis, direct, sovereign knowing. 8. The Coronation of Enoughness, reign from inherent worth. From the moment you were born, the world began chanting a subtle, incessant mantra. Your value is conditional, a transaction. It teaches you to trade your beauty for attention, your compliance for security, your achievement for a fleeting sense of worthiness. This endless performance of proving your right to exist, your right to take up space, is the most exhausting battle a woman can fight. The single most radical, revolutionary act of the feminine queen is the one she performs in the silent theater of her own mind, the coronation of her own enoughness. This is the moment she looks inward and, with the full authority of her being, declares, "I am, in my very essence, enough. My worth is not up for negotiation." This isn't arrogance, it is the absolute bedrock of sovereignty. It is here you find a parallel with the Stoic concept of autarkeia, or self-sufficiency. This doesn't just mean financial independence, it means psychic and emotional self-sufficiency. It is the understanding that everything you truly need for a good, virtuous, and fulfilling life already resides within you. When you internalize this, the desperate need for external validation withers and dies. You cease the exhausting hustle for worthiness, because you are no longer a candidate for the throne. You are the one sitting on it. You build your reign on this unshakable foundation of self-validated existence. Your worth is not something you earn. It is something you finally recognize as your divine and inalienable birthright. 9. Embodied sovereignty. The throne room is within. Ultimately, this entire journey of integrating your shadows, honoring your intuition, and claiming your inherent worth culminates not in a final destination, but in a new way of being, a state of embodied sovereignty. The profound gift of Carl Jung's process of individuation is the ultimate freedom it bestows, the realization that the throne room, the seat of all your power, was never outside of you. It resides, and has always resided, firmly within the architecture of your own integrated psyche. When you reach this state, you shed the heavy cloak of needing permission. You release the deeply ingrained fear of exile for speaking your truth, the frantic search for a sense of belonging that must be purchased with self-betrayal finally comes to an end. This is where the Stoic ideal of ataraxia, a state of serene, untroubled tranquility, becomes your natural way of life. It is not a forced calm, but the deep peace that comes from being the undisputed ruler of your own mind. You set boundaries not as acts of aggression, but as the natural and effortless demarcation of your sacred space, as simple as a castle raising its drawbridge. Your no is delivered not with anger or apology, but with the quiet finality of a royal decree. You walk through the world not to your throne, but from it, radiating the unassailable grace and quiet confidence of a queen who knows, without a shadow of a doubt, that her kingdom is her own luminous, whole, and integrated self. This embodied sovereignty is your legacy. It is your power. It is your indelible mark upon the world. My queens, the keys we have discussed today are not just theories. They are a direct invitation. An invitation to stop looking outside for the power that has always been your birthright. The journey Carl Jung mapped out is a return to the throne that awaits within you. It is the path of courageously embracing your wholeness, of finding validation in your own soul's reflection, and of wielding your intuition like the sacred scepter it is. This is the essence of timeless feminine power. It is not loud, it is not needy, it is not aggressive. It is a deep, resonant, and unshakable strength that emanates from a woman who is fully at home with herself. Remember that this process is a pilgrimage, not a race. There will be days you feel more like a pawn than a queen, and that is part of the journey. The goal is not perfection, but persistent, compassionate self-awareness. Each time you choose to listen to your inner voice over the noise of the world, each time you embrace a part of your shadow instead of banishing it, you are strengthening your reign. You are reinforcing the walls of your own inner kingdom. You are a feminine queen, not because of what you have or what you do, but because of who you are choosing to become from the inside out. The world is in desperate need of your unique form of leadership, a leadership born of wisdom, grace, and profound inner power. It needs women who lead not from a place of ego, but from a place of integrated wholeness. As you continue on your path, know that you are part of a global sisterhood, of women who are all undertaking this same sacred quest. The work you do on yourself ripples out and helps to heal the world. Let this be your motivation and your strength. Thank you for joining me here at Feminine Queen. If this message has stirred something within you, if you feel the call to your own throne, then please subscribe to the channel and join our community of empowered women. Share this video, leave a comment with your own insights, and continue to invest in your own sovereign journey. Until next time, my ladies, continue to reign with wisdom, courage, and grace. Your crown is waiting.